I sent some of my recent paintings to be printed and framed in the large format. To see my work in this form is extremely satisfying. Watercolor, when done right, can be enlarged and will still captivate the viewer. And that has been the goal when I experiment with brushstrokes. So this has not only increased the saleability of my paintings, but has also made them more competent in the large format market. So today's art video is going to be slightly different because I think I'm going through a change in my art style. So I have been expecting this change for some time now. I just did not know when this will happen. And just so that it makes a little bit more sense to you, as a child, I was obsessed with floral motifs. So that subject was very deeply ingrained in my brain. And as I grew up and I went to art school, I went to this institution in India. It's called the JJ School of Architecture, which is an iconic institution. Many famous personalities are attached to it. And that gave me a real boost in belief that, I perhaps do have some artistic talent in me. My focus and my interest shifted towards modern and surrealistic subjects. Here's an example of a painting that I did in grad school. And later, I also taught at an undergrad level the core design principles, the principles of composition, which not only built my depth, but also increased my exposure. However, 10 years ago, when I took watercolors a bit more seriously, I was exposed to watercolors early on, but it did not really entice me. But so about 10 years ago, I took a particular interest in watercolors and I was heavily drawn towards florals once again in my life. However, I knew deep within me that I was equally attracted towards the modern themes, the abstracts, especially the surrealistic themes. And at some point, these two interests will combine. And that's happening a little bit now with me. And I cannot tell you more about why it takes a long time and why we cannot force it. And in my mind, one should never force these things. They have to just evolve naturally. You have to feel comfortable with the subject that you take on every morning or every other fortnight, whatever you want to paint. So today's session is an example of this amalgamation of two themes, which I expected all along. And I'm delighted that it happened. I do not know how successful I'm going to be in this amalgamation, but regardless, I am excited about it. So for this painting, here are the colors I used. Going after the rose hips on the branch here. First, the bright orange that you see is the cadmium yellow orange from Holbein. Cadmium yellow orange paired up with Scarlet Lake. Scarlet Lake gives a very bright. Now for the leaves, we had a range of yellows and greens and a brown. There was yellow ochre. Sorry about this. There's just a blob on the tip of my tube and I just wanted to use it for swatching, and it seems like it's way too dried, but here's the color. Yellow ochre, color of yellowish clay sand or mud. That's yellow ochre. And then we also mixed in Mars Violet. And this is the rot on the leaves. And then going after the greens, to make a portion of leaves luminous, I used leafy green or leaf green from Holbein. Leaf green from Holbein. This is a no-fail color in the Holbein palette, and I'm sure like Daniel Smith and other leading brands have something similar that would have the leaves just shine through. If you want that kind of an effect, just use this. If you can see these portions of the branch, some over here as well. So leaf green. There's also a Serpentine Genuine from Daniel Smith. Honestly, I use this, but you can skip it. You know, I was trying to achieve a certain effect, but it did not come out for me. So this is dispensable. The other green was the olive green, one of my favorites. Olive green. I'm sure there's an overlap of pigments here and between some of the greens, so you don't have to use that many, but feel free to do so if you have them. So that covers that part of the subject of the painting. And now coming to the scene, the yellow that you see here is the desert yellow from Schmincke's supergranulation colors. And as you know, the supergranulation colors are a combination of pigments, a blend of pigments. You can achieve them by mixing the core pigments here, but you know, my theory is that if they exist in a mixture, then why bother? So that's the desert yellow. Desert yellow, very pretty. The other key color was the Shire Blue, also Schmincke's supergranulation colors, and that was some part of the sky here, or sky-like scene. It's a little abstract, so you know, you can interpret it the way you want, but that was my intention. So that's Shire Blue. There was also a desert gray, desert gray, desert gray, and that was paired up with the sky here and then some on the dunes. The next color was the desert green, another exciting color. Let me get a little bit of a dab from the tube here so that you can see the blend. It's a blend of a red and a turquoise. I think it's Potter's pink, and I don't know what the blue pigment is, but this definitely is characteristic of Potter's pink. So that's the desert green. Beautiful. I don't know if the pink came through on this swatching, but let me try one more time. There you go. Desert green. There was also a desert brown. Desert brown. Honestly, if you used a ochre or a Mars violet, instead of a desert brown, it would have been perfectly okay. But you know, given a little bit of a different flavor, but it would have definitely worked. I thought about it, but I just used the brown. And I believe that's it. So as an artist, we keep evolving our style, and I'm going through some of that in my journey, and this was very well thought out. So I'm really enjoying this transition right now, and that's why you see some gap in the videos, because when you are going through some transitions and you want to create something special, it does take a little bit more planning, and that's why there is the gap in the videos. I'm not doing maybe once a week, and sometimes it takes me 15 days just to plan something. So I hope you enjoyed this, and it's a really pleasure sharing this idea with you and this part of my work with you, and I hope this will also give you a little bit of push in whatever you are doing and positively impact your day.